across the planet. This is a glorious Thursday, October 6th, and we have quite the program to run today because it's the morning buzz. It's me, Isaiah, joined by, for the first time, I think, all year, Amina is in the normal studio. It's a wild time to be alive. Amina, welcome to the show. Of course, co-host JT, sports extraordinaire Campbell, and in the shadow realm, we do have to announce making her re-debut in the darkest room possible. It's Lana. Guys, what a time to be alive. Are we feeling good today? We're gonna have a good show.
Yeah, of course we are.
Are we?
You know, as long as you keep the comments down to like a 1, and as long as you
Listen,
keep
there's
like a
the
zero.
thing here, JT, is
Yes.
you've been really focusing on like censoring yourself, making sure you're good, right?
Yeah.
You don't want to go too far.
Never.
It's been the opposite for me. I'm just letting it fly, shooting from half court. Something's hit.
And bricking every ball.
Nah, I've never bricked it in my entire life.
Just everything's a mess.
I was like the MVP of my middle school basketball team.
So
You thought we was feeling it? No.
Isaiah,
What? Yes, Campbell.
so you're basically shooting from Curry range. Is that what you're
Yes,
saying?
sir. Further from I was Curry
Further?
before Curry.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Right, cook some
I was
curry.
very bad. Listen, everyone, we have a great show to do today. We're gonna see how many Ice Spice references JT can do throughout the day. But first, we have some news going on across the world. Are we gonna talk some Russians? What in the world? Amina, take it away.
All right. In national news, a Russian cosmonaut, Anna Kakina, rocketed from the U.S. on Wednesday for the first time in 20 years. She launched to the International Space Station alongside NASA and Japanese astronauts, despite tensions over the war in Ukraine. Despite their SpaceX flight being delayed by Hurricane Ian, they're due to arrive at the space station today and won't be back on Earth until March. They're replacing a U.S. Italian crew that arrived in April. The next crew exchange is in the spring. In state news, after reading a new investigation detailing allegations of systematic emotional abuse and sexual misconduct in America's top professional women's soccer league, Governor Phil Murphy said he was disgusted. These allegations include accusations against a coach who once worked for the New Jersey team Murphy co-owns, known as New Jersey/New York Gotham FC, formerly known as Sky Blue FC. Murphy stated that he hopes the NWSL will put reforms in place so that this never happens again, but refused to talk about the specifics as the league is conducting its own investigation at this time. And in local news, the Essex County Sheriff's Crime Stoppers program is offering a $10,000 reward for any information leading to the arrest of the person or persons responsible for the fatal shooting of Latrell Duncan, 16, who was a student at East Orange Campus High School. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Essex County Prosecutor's Office, Homicide/Major Crimes Task Force tips line, or the East Orange Police Department tips hotline. Calls will be kept confidential. And looking at the weather today, it is partly cloudy with a high of 75 and a low of 48 with a humidity level of 93% and good air quality with a level of 17.
Thank you very much, Amina. A lot went down. Very curiously, though, I think the sentence and won't be back on Earth until March is such a wild thing to say.
It is.
Because that's, March? Like, and you're not on Earth? It's just, can you imagine being in space? That would be the weirdest, trippiest experience possible.
Can we talk about how she channeled her inner Shaggy when she messed up? And she goes, like, sorry. I don't know why. I was scared.
Do your best Shaggy impersonation before we get to sports then. Let's hear it.
Oh, but I could do a Scooby impersonation.
Let's hear Scooby.
Yes. Oh my God.
Anyways, listen, the sports world is on fire. Today is Thursday, which means Thursday night football. Campbell, talk about it.
Yeah, well, thank you, Isaiah. But first, we'll get to the sad part.
Fine.
Good news in baseball. Jeff McNeil wins the NL batting crown as Aaron Judge falls short of the elusive Triple Crown. But now the sad news. Today, there's no baseball because the regular season's over and there's playoff baseball tomorrow. But there is Thursday night football. Like you said, the Broncos take on the Colts. And, of course, the Colts do not have star running back Jonathan Taylor. So Russell Wilson looks to want to pickpocket that Colts defense and preserve a win in the AFC West rankings. NHL preseason last night, the Rangers lost to the Bruins 5-4, and the Devils are on the island tonight to take on the New York Islanders. NBA preseason, the Nets will play the Heat. The Knicks are off, and I almost forgot. The women's soccer team on campus is 11-0, and they won again, 8-0 less yesterday against John Jay. Aileen Cahill and Kylie Prendergast both set program record. This has never happened before, 2 hat tricks in the same game. They're just rolling. That is all for the 7 a.m. Sportscast. I'm Campbell Donovan for 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair.
Thank you, Campbell. And shout out to the Redhawks. The women's program is on fire. 11-0. Huh?
You had to question that so hard. I'm not feeling you right now.
Listen, my thing is this. I just think it's embarrassing that we have a nice campus. It's a great time to be alive. SCM's popping, right? Why are we still called the Redhawks? I mean,
okay,
what stupid bird. Anything but that. Like, at least the Scarlet Knight sounds intimidating. A Red Hawk?
Okay, you ever seen a Red Hawk?
I'd rather just be called the Hawks. Why does it have to be specifically red?
Because that's our color.
Yeah, Lana.
Thanks, Lana.
I don't know. I'm more of a UCLA Bruins kind of guy then. Anyways, guys, let's talk about DACA, everyone's favorite thing to talk about this morning, which, despite the mild joke there, it's very important and affects a lot of people. So let's get right into it. Once again, thank you, Campbell, for your sports report at like 7-ish in the morning. I don't know what time it is. 7:07. Anyways, guys,
clock's right there in front of you, bro.
You need to relax. I also have a clock on the bottom right corner right there. All right. A federal appeals court on Wednesday said deferred action for childhood arrivals, aka DACA, policy violates U.S. immigration law, endangering an Obama-era program that provides deportation protection and work permits to nearly 600,000 immigrants who are also been known as Dreamers. A 3-judge panel for the Fifth Circuit Court of Appeals concluded the Obama administration did not have the legal authority to create DACA in 2012, affirming a July 2021 ruling from a federal judge in Texas who barred the Biden administration from enrolling new immigrants in the decade-old program. Despite its conclusion, the appeals court did not order the Biden administration to shut down DACA completely or stop processing renewal applications, deciding instead to leave in place an order from U.S. Judge Andrew Hannon that left the policy intact for current beneficiaries. The government, however, will continue to prohibit from approving first-time DACA applications. The Justice Department, which represents the federal government in lawsuits, said it disagreed with the ruling and vowed to vigorously defend the lawfulness of DACA as this case proceeds. The Biden administration is likely to file a formal appeal, paving the way for conservative-leaning high court to issue a final decision on DACA's legality next year. The Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said he was deeply disappointed by Wednesday's court decision, denouncing the ongoing uncertainty it would create for families, communities across the country. He said his department would continue processing DACA renewal cases. Now, I think this is absurd to continue to play with like the lives of people that are just trying to live in America. I mean, a lot of these people were born here. Their parents sadly were not legal, and them being born here makes them somehow not legal. It's just this whole thing is so frustrating, I think, obviously, because it affects over 600,000 people. But those are just the people in the program right now. We don't know the thousands, millions of people that are applying that can't now because of this ruling. And I think it's sad because people are just trying to chase a better lives for themselves. And my thing is always, no one wants to leave their country. They are kind of most of the time forced to, or they're trying to chase something that is more fulfilling in a different country. And the fact that our government continues to play with people's lives like this, you have things relating to DACA going on and then abortions going on. And it's like, why are we going backwards when we just went forwards? And it seems ridiculous. And once again, it comes to the people we elect. And it seems like every time we have this discussion where, did we elect the right people? Are we doing our job? And then you could say it's on us, but it's also the people that we put into power, and they are the ones that are failing us. And they promise all these things, and they say we're going to do this, 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 and that, and then maybe they'll do it, but then they'll change it halfway through, and then it's not what you'd expect it to be.
But then it prompts the question, are you surprised?
No, because it's kind of the revolving cycle of government officials within this country.
They promise this, they don't give us that. They
Mhm.
promise that, they don't give us this. They give us something else we didn't want. They have a major scandal. Tale as old as time, song as old as rhyme.
Bars this early in the morning.
Yeah.
Nice.
Shout out Beauty and the Beast.
Why are we shouting out Beauty and the Beast
Because
this
you just
early?
said bars. I gotta give credit to where I get my bars from, bro.
Sheesh.
Sheesh.
Copyright? Are we gonna get copyrighted by Disney already?
I hope Mrs. Potts doesn't copyright me. Like,
Nah, Miss Potts can catch these hands. Now, regardless, Lana, hopefully we can hear you. Lana, say something real quick.
What's up?
All right, cool. Now this decision very disheartening, and I'd love to get your opinions upon it.
No, this is very disheartening because they were born in America. They have rights as much as anybody else does, and their families were just looking for a better life. So why shouldn't we give it to them? We were founded on immigrants as a melting pot. Why?
No, Lana. What really happened is true Americans were born here, and there was no controversy at any point within this country, and not a single immigrant has come here at all. Thank you very much.
do you
Obviously,
have
that is a
rights?
joke.
The Constitution says you do. And frankly, I agree.
I deny those rights.
Of course, you're
Mhm.
American.
I'm American, real American. I'm the real Native American. Thank you very much. Yeah, let's move on, guys. Hurricane Ian is still obviously something that Florida has to deal with, and they're gonna have to deal with that for years upon years, I imagine, at this point. And we have some updates upon their recovery efforts.
That damage is, you're right, it's going to take a very long time. Thankfully, President Joe Biden is on scene. He visited Florida yesterday and saw the devastating effect of Hurricane Ian had on the state. Biden praised DeSantis's handling of the storm recovery, and both sides were able to put their politics aside for a couple of days. Now, that is the most impressive part of this feat. Biden had this to say as he stressed recovery may take years. He says, today we have one job and one job only, and that's to make sure that people in Florida get everything they need to fully recover. While it was great to see both Republicans and Democrats working together, we have seen some disturbing information come out as Florida continues to recover from the hurricane. The disaster recovery industry in America has always been sort of carried by immigrant workers from Mexico, Venezuela, Guatemala, Honduras, and other countries. Hurricane Ian is no different, as many Venezuelan immigrants are volunteering to help. As a matter of fact, they're being persuaded not to help, as they may not be getting paid for their efforts. Adriana Phillips of community organizers, South Bronx Mutual Aid, says it sounds like human trafficking. They recruit immigrants, they take them down there, and then they don't pay them, and then they get deported. We've seen it with other hurricanes. Phillips said the other organizers have been in contact with Venezuelan migrants who took the jobs and went to Florida, but are already being told that their initial wages will be used to cover transport and housing. They're wading through contaminated waters, flooded homes and businesses, jobs that no one else is willing to take care of. In a survey of 361 construction day laborers weeks after heavy rains from Florida Harvey flooded Houston, 70 to 72% were unauthorized immigrants. Since 1980, the United States has sustained about 332 weather and climate disasters, totaling for more than 2,275 trillion losses adjusted for inflation. I butchered that number. That's not how you say that. Anyway, according to National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, there's far more than enough money to pay workers, and there's more work being done to make sure that everybody, particularly immigrants, are being paid their fair share. I was killing it until that number.
I know. Sometimes it'd be like that, man. But this is definitely something you really don't hear about. This is a story that you saw online, JT. I thought it was very interesting that I've never really heard that many people, immigrant wise, help out during the reliefs of hurricanes.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, and when it comes to this stuff, if they have the finances to be able to pay someone a fair wage, I really don't understand the complication there. But obviously, I'm sure someone's paycheck's a little bigger than the others, and then it's once again another never-ending cycle of kind of abusing the people that are less fortunate than you, rather than helping. Yeah, I don't think it's ever gonna end, but it's very sad to see that because a lot of these people
an
are
interesting
putting
part
a
that
lot of
I
work there.
picked from the story. I don't know if it was like clear, but I do want to highlight the fact that there's people who know this and they're stopping them from going down there.
Yeah.
There's like immigrants like lining up to take these jobs because they think it's easy money. None of the Americans are gonna want to do it. And then there's people that like get them and go, don't do this. You're here for a reason. There's a big chance, A, you won't get paid, and B, you'll be right back where you came from. Like,
Yeah. You know what's just kind of the scary part about that though is that there is probably always going to be somebody that will do the job though.
there will.
And that's like the tough part is because you have like a lot of people that will kind of team together and
they need to
stay,
take that
make a
risk.
stand. But then there's in every kind of industry, there's always going to be the people that need to like that is they
As
feel like
long
that's
as there's
their only
people
option.
that are in that situation where they have no
Yeah.
choice, the people that exploit them are going to take advantage. You're not going to see
Absolutely.
any reason. And that's the worst part about this.
Amina,
I just want to know, how is it being advertised to them? Like, are we telling them that it's a job, or are we telling them that it's volunteer work that
yes.
we will cover their costs? Because I feel like they're under the impression that they're volunteering as basically saying like, oh, I'll go do the job, but they think it's an actual job. And I feel
Yeah.
like we're telling them, no, it's up to you. You're basically saying that you want to come help us.
That's what I thought too, because the word volunteer is used a lot there.
Yeah.
And when I think of volunteering, I
They
think
were
no
looking
one's getting
for,
paid
Yeah.
when that happens. So
according to this, they were looking for a white van that would shuttle them down to the cleaning jobs. They were in Queens, New York, and were looking for a white van that I assume would take them. I don't know if this white van is planning on taking them all the way down to Florida, or if it would take them to Port Authority where they would have a Greyhound or something like that that would take them down. But they were looking for vehicles. But instead of finding the vehicles, community organizers literally came. They like picked them up and like cut them off from like their van. Like, are you looking for this white van? And they're like, yeah, we were told that, it says recruiting. So I assume that
I guess
they were
just word of mouth or something. Like whoever was in
probably.
charge of that program, they have,
Mhm.
I'm assuming officials coming in.
It's a lot of like shadiness about the wording. That way they can't be held liable. Like they
It
can't
seems like
say
it.
we're going to pay you X and X and not pay it, because then they are liable. But they can heavily imply it. They can pull lawyer tricks with the wording
Mhm.
and ultimately use the migrants' defenselessness against them and say, we're gonna pay you this. Just come down, help us out. We'll help you out. We just need help. And they'll say, okay, I'm here. I want to do something. I want to make a way. And then they get down there and they do all that work that nobody else is willing to do. And when they look for the repayment, they're going to be like, yeah, you're not supposed to be here anyway. So
Mhm.
back to Venezuela you go. But thank you, though.
That's weird. So they were all in New York and they were just approaching Hispanic
It's
people.
like they've just
that's
been being shipped around, apparently, according to it. Was like, I'm not gonna lie, when I was writing this, I was like a little confused because
Mhm.
the headline brought me in. The migrants are helping rebuild Florida after Hurricane Ian. They might not get paid for it. And the first paragraph, I had to read the entire thing before I could write it. The first paragraph was Venezuelan migrants were cold and disoriented, wandering streets in Queens, New York, looking for a white van that would shuttle them to jobs cleaning up after Hurricane Ian in Florida. Mind you, this is an article from USA Today. That's
Yeah.
just for
Mhm.
legality.
So is it like they were already expecting that somebody was gonna come get them,
Pretty
even
much.
without like being told?
No, and I guess that's just because that's just the situation they're in. They
Like,
don't
they're
have,
used to that.
yeah, they don't have much of a room to. Beggars can't be choosers, according to them. But it's like, maybe beggars can't be choosers, but also beggars don't have to accept exploitation. Like, like, I get that you're not legal. That's probably another thing too. They know they're not legal and they're just like taking their days as they go, to like taking their blessings, taking whatever penny they can get.
Mhm.
And it's, I don't know, me personally, maybe I'm just a human being, but personally, like, if I'm going to call myself helping people out, I'm gonna actually help them.
Yeah.
I'm not just gonna like throw them a peanut and be like, here, you should be grateful.
You remember where we are?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
When you said that,
Sadly, it's the phrase is eat or be eaten here in the United States, and you got to do what you got to do to get ahead of your others. But I think oftentimes people forget that there's plenty of room at the table for everyone to eat. Everyone can get paid, and everyone can have a pretty decent life. But I think that oftentimes gets forgotten here. We are going to take a quick break. We're going to play some music. And when we come back, we got some more stories to talk about, including sadness across multiple campuses in the United States.
All right.
And protests in Iran continue, as that situation is definitely one people should be monitoring. Now, we'll be right back. Are back. Hey, very quickly, I would like to issue an apology to Marky Mark and the Metamates because I probably left myself muted that entire segment. But hey, life goes on. Life is good. What a time to be alive. What a world to be a part of. There's good things going on, and I swear we'll report that at some point. But we have to cover some other things. We're going to take a deep dive very quickly into the world that is world news because a lot of things is going on across the globe, and according to CNN and their sources, the U.S. intelligence community believes that the car bombing that killed Drea Dugunia, the daughter of prominent Russian political figure Alexander Dugin, was authorized by Ukrainian government. The U.S. is not aware of the plan beforehand, and it's still unclear who exactly the U.S. believes signed off on the assassination. It also is not clear whether the U.S. intelligence community believes that Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky was aware of the plot or authorized it, which I find to be very confusing. Are people just acting on their own? That's a situation to monitor as more details come out. From that, we're going to skip this. And Ugandan President Yoweri Museveni apologized to Kenyans after his son threatened to invade the East African nation. Museveni removed the Muhoozi Kainerugaba, who was 48, ahead of the Ugandan Army Land Forces following a series of tweets in which he said the military could capture Nairobi, the capital of the neighboring Kenya, within 2 weeks. In a statement on Wednesday, he said, "I ask our Kenyan brothers and sisters to forgive us for tweets sent by General Muhoozi, a former commander of land forces here, regarding the election matters at that great country." He said it was incorrect for public officials to comment on or interfere in international affairs of other countries. And North Korea yet again fired 2 short-range ballistic missiles into the waters of east coast of the Korean Peninsula on Thursday morning, local time there, as tensions continued to rise in the area following the missiles that flew over Japan earlier in the week. The missile was launched from North Korea's capital, Pyongyang, and North Korea's 6th ballistic missile launch event in the past 2 weeks. Now, seems like the world's about to explode, everybody. I feel like that is what we got from that. What a time to be alive. Once again, I think I'll start with the Ukrainian story. That is a lot of people, when this event happened, you know how Twitter is and how online people always are. They're like, anything that happens internationally big like that, they assume World War III, everybody, it's going to happen. Like, we got to stop doing that because it's a very scary concept to think of. But the fact that it's unclear whether or not the president of Ukraine had believed to be, or we don't know yet, had no clue that this was going to happen, is very wild. So I'm not sure if I don't know how that can be approved unless it was just civilians acting on their own in going into Russia and doing that. I find that to be very confusing. I'd like to imagine that the president would be aware of such a high-ranking bombing like that, but it could be people acting on their own as they're just dealing with the problems that they have within that country.
It's just.
But when it comes to an assassination like that of a big political figure, most of the time governments are highly aware of something like that going on, and there's normally a plan of actually doing the assassination.
Well, like, I imagine as a very high ranking, especially the highest rank official, there are probably plans for your execution daily. There are probably people thinking about it. There are probably people genuinely considering going out to do it. And I would hope that every political figure has some sort of a security system in place for those things available. Like here in America, you can't even so much as joke about it what's always your friends. It's about 5 minutes later, somebody's at your door making sure you don't actually mean it. So when it comes to the idea that nobody really knew that they were actually going to do it, or the fact that they just went with that assumption and like, oh yeah, they're not going to do it, if that is what happened,
I find that incredibly hard to believe.
Exactly.
That the president of Ukraine just had no clue that this was going on. Now, obviously, I'm not the one with sources within the nation, but to be the president and have no clue about that, once again, we're not entirely sure about that. It's unclear. I'd like to believe that he was aware of that. Like that, to just not be aware of things going like that would be surprising more than anything else.
Of course.
Because that's like,
but if
that's
you knew
almost
about it,
like,
why didn't
you remember when Bin Laden was killed? That's like, they're just like, Bin Laden was killed? Oh, no one told me that was going on. Like, that, I feel like that is something you would know about. being the president. I don't know. I think that report is it's leaning towards misleading to me. We just need more
Isaias is gonna
information
have to
about
call
that.
cap on that for now.
Yeah.
Um,
Now, very quickly, let's touch upon the Ugandan president thing. That is wild to just be tweeting things like that. It's like we could probably invade and take Nairobi within 2 weeks, guys. Like, huh? How do
definitely would set up some red flags.
that's interesting. That's very weird, man. And for that to be your son too.
Mhm.
That's hey, that's life, I guess. Now, JT,
Yes.
we're gonna go on and move away from the world news and talk about the weirdest high school story I've probably heard in quite some time. But
Weirdest, not surprising. My high school is full of some similar things. If you were listening to Identity Crisis yesterday, we touched upon this, and unfortunately, I have to touch upon it again. Yuba City High School in California has canceled the remainder of its football season after members of the team were filmed enacting a prank in which they appear to, quote, auction off black teammates. Yes, we're back. The video showed members of River Valley High School's football team seeming to act at a slave auction for their black teammates. School district officials received the video on Thursday. Yuba City United School District Superintendent Doreen Osumi called the video unacceptable and deeply offensive. The students involved in the unfortunate and extremely distressing incident were barred from competing for the rest of the football season for violating the student athlete code of conduct. Because of this, the varsity football team no longer has enough members to play, and the rest of the season has been forfeited. The superintendent added, reenacting a slave sale as a prank tells us that we have a great deal of work to do with our students so that they can distinguish between intent and impact. They may have thought the skit was funny, but it is not. It is unacceptable and requires us to look honestly and deeply at issues of systematic racism. Osumi added that some students may face disciplinary consequences as a result of the video, and added that the school also implement education, honest, open discussions, and instruction around racism. At this time, the district and site administration are working hard to identify lessons and programs to help our student body learn from the situation, she went on. When students find humor in something that is so deeply offensive, it tells me that we have an opportunity to help them expand their mindset to be more aware, thoughtful, and considerate of others. Oh God. Okay. I'm gonna say what I said on my show yesterday when we discussed this.
what time is your show?
It is 12 to 1 on Wednesdays, Identity Crisis with homegirl Terry Dickerson. We talk about issues like these, and we also brush upon a lot of other lighthearted news regarding the Black person of color community. But something that I brought up, people are hearing about this news, and they're obviously talking about more racism in America. I don't want to call it a hot take, but it's probably a take that not many people are brushing upon.
Oh no.
No.
Okay.
Don't say oh no.
I thought you were gonna be like, I actually love the prank.
No.
Like, what? That's a wild take.
It's
JT.
more of a call to make sure that while we're holding the Caucasian students accountable for this horrible lapse in judgment, that we also hold the other students that participated, particularly the Black teammates. And the reason I say that is because that nowhere in this was it involuntary, because if it was involuntary, this would be a completely different conversation. So clearly everybody on the team thought it funny. Now, you can make the argument that they probably felt a little pressure to do it. They're just trying to show off, and that's definitely a topic that will be brought up in other times. But what's really important to point out is that there is just need to, I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. There's just need to show off, for lack of a better term, and that sometimes we have to hold everybody equally accountable. Everybody on this team, whether you were the quote unquote, I'm not even going to say what quote unquote, whether you were the Black students being the butt of the joke, or whether you were the other students making fun of them, everybody on this team has to learn that there's times to be funny, and there's times to make jokes, and there's always time for dark humor. I love dark humor, but this is just beyond dark humor. And if you know me, coming from me, when I say something is beyond dark humor, it's a lot. And
That's rough.
This is just why are we still having this in 2022? And unfortunately, like I repeatedly say on this program, dang it, Isaias.
You said program. Let's go.
Oh,
What a time to be alive. He said program and didn't even do it on purpose. It just came naturally. The program's incredible today.
We're gonna have to talk.
Listen, I think you can bring up a lot of valid points, JT. Amina, I'd love to get your perspective as well here.
For starters, I just don't see how this was a prank. Like, what told you, hey, let's get you guys in a line and like pretend that you're slaves and we're gonna buy you? Like, how do you have that conversation with each other? Because I feel like, again, kind of like you said, maybe they were pressured, but I just feel like if one of my white friends came up to me and said that, I'd be like, yeah, we're not friends anymore, and that's a no. But have fun with whatever it is you want to do. And I'm just like, I just don't like. I don't see why that's fun. Like, I wouldn't want to play a slave.
Yeah, I just like my thing. This whole story didn't seem believable. This seems so far out there. This seems made up, like an Onion article. Like it's
also
ridiculously out there, huh?
It's also a double-edged sword where it feels made up, but you just know.
Yeah,
Like it's the one thing that like it should feel made up.
Yeah,
to me,
absolutely.
It should feel made up. I've seen worse. Well, no, not worse than this. I've seen this gives me very heavy. In 2020, there was this trend where interracial friendships would have this little joke among them. They would George Floyd, they called it the George Floyd, and you can imagine where I'm going with this. My brother unfortunately participated in this. I had to chew him out for that, but it was an instance where, like, people would have their white friends kneel on their necks.
No,
say,
wait, you're okay. Hold on, your brother did that?
Yeah, I chewed him out for that.
Golly.
No, I'm surprised you haven't heard of it,
That's
because I used to see it. I would see it
Like on
online.
TikTok?
I've never
Not on
heard of that.
TikTok. I would see it
Oh.
online. I would see people getting chewed out for it, and then I saw my brother do it, and that's when I had to like sit down and talk with him. I'm like, look, I understand you think it's funny, blah 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 blah. We make jokes that we shouldn't all the time, but this is.
Yeah, I mean that's insane. That is wow. I've never heard about that. Glad I got to avoid that as
and
well.
It's just that's exactly why when I stumbled upon the story, it's like this stuff probably happens all around. This just happened to go viral because the idiots filmed it.
My thing is this though as well, and Amina kind of was touching upon is like, how did that pitch go? It's like, hey man, like I know we were playing like GTA earlier, but like I thought it'd be pretty cool if like we all got together and pretended like you were slaves and we were like buying you. Like,
because to me that just feels like I feel like somebody in that group is actually racist.
Yeah,
like
they are
actually
fulfilling some weird fantasy kink going on, and they got to live it out a little bit, and then that's disturbing.
It probably went down because, like I say, I make jokes I shouldn't make all the time, and I try to keep some air of sensibility about it, and it probably went as an air of a joke, like wouldn't it be stupid if we did this, but we're not actually gonna do it. Somebody in the room
I think Amina might be right. There's definitely one
somebody in the room said, let's do it.
No,
and then they all looked at each other and go, oh, why not? We're not gonna get in trouble.
Not even the trouble part. How did not like?
But I
think the most frustrating part is like, I'm not even that. That's a stupid excuse.
No, it's not.
When you're in high school, you should know better than that.
No, it's not an excuse, but it's like high school boys are.
Nah.
They obviously didn't think that this would get out, and it did. Unfortunately for them, like it did. It's like, yes, they know they're wrong, which is probably like, because I'm also reading into this, because like when I read into it for my show, I read that it wasn't put on socials originally. It was like filmed just for them. That's why I'm assuming they.
Who's leaking that? Who was like, man, this is so funny.
What the story said was like they were like laughing about it in class, and a classmate was the one who brought it to the school. A classmate was the one, like, he overheard it, and they somehow got a hold of the video, and they were the ones to leak the video. It was one of those, hey, this is what the football team is out here doing while we think they're in there doing normal locker room ideas. This is what they're doing. And they were the ones to get a hold of the video and report it to the school. That's the information that I found, which is why I'm not, don't get me wrong, I am in no way excusing them, but I'm using like high school boy logic and normal knowledge of how these type of things play out, and I'm making an assessment. That's probably what happened. They probably were in a room laughing about it like the idiots they are, and thought that they would never get caught, that they would just do this once. It was stupid. They didn't think anything of it. Like the school attendant said that they probably thought this is funny, but it's not. And somebody on the outside got a hold of it and was like, this is what these people are doing, and this is not okay. And now they're all reaping the consequences of what was, I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt here, which I shouldn't, which was probably just a moment of high school stupidity.
Yeah, my thing though here too is like when I hear this story from like the white perspective, right? I feel like I'm not surprised by that. I think the disappointing part here is that you had Black students actively participating in it. And it's like, what is going on within their house? Like, you don't have discussions about like race relations and history about what actually went down during that time period. And to go along with that, like, that's disappointing. Because you expect a little bit more, more awareness, more just knowledge about the situation. And I know you're gonna say, well, they're high school students, but like,
no, that's not even
I know, but like, as someone that had like a pretty bad high school education, but I learned a few things, and I know one thing, like with that situation, that is not something I would ever participate in, and I'd be very quick to call people out and say, this doesn't seem right, and you look awfully racist right now.
And that's
like, what
saying,
in the world?
And that's what I'm saying. There are examples of something that you shouldn't be participating in, but you just like end up going, oh, why not? It's not that.
No,
and then there's
they
this.
had the
And
they
then
had
there's
the
this.
ability, and I know you can get into like peer pressure things
No,
and all that stuff.
no,
That's not even a real excuse
and I'm
either.
saying,
You should have known better
that there
those
is
kids.
peer pressure and there is places where
Everyone
like you
involved.
can use that. But then there's situations like this. This like I can excuse a lot. And I could be like, no, well, like that was bad, but we can go. But this is just something where I'm like, no. Somebody in that room, no matter how young you guys were, should have been the one to say, no.
Even a middle schooler could have actively recognized that, ooh, this doesn't feel right. Like, not even one person was like, ooh. No one got that feeling in their stomachs, like, ugh, I feel kind of dirty for doing this. That's just, and I hope those kids, like, obviously, this shouldn't end their lives. I hope they learn from this situation. They're able to recognize what they did was wrong. I have a strange feeling that these are probably the kids that peak in high school kind of deal, and this will probably be the highlight of their lives. But that is a rough situation and disappointing on all levels. And I think the school obviously took action that was necessary.
And it's what it is. This is Florida, right?
This is California.
Oh, California.
And I think that's even the crazier part too, because like when you hear a story like this, you'd be like, what is this, like Nebraska? Like
Ohio?
Ohio. Yeah, Ohio. Like some state where they kind of like lean towards a different direction. And this to like what we imagine to be like a pretty liberal state, I guess.
The part that gets me is they kept on highlighting the fact that they had to cancel the football season, which leads me to believe that for some people, that's the most important part about this.
Well, I mean, faith family football, man. Who cares about what went down? We're gonna make regionals. We had the best. No, I'm kidding.
Like, I could only see that as a problem because they said they don't have enough members. So it's
true.
It's kind of like a slap to the face of the people that to the team members that were
responsible human beings.
Because now it's like, great. Now what am I gonna do? And see, in that right there, I don't want to be the one, but I would just say you'd have to catch me outside after that.
Absolutely, man. I would like, and to the kids in that school, I hope they are getting side-eyed every day, man. I hope those kids that are involved in that video are getting alienated because that's dirty. That's stinky. That's like everything about that is so corny, weird, disgusting, awkward. Like, I don't know. There's so many adjectives to describe this. It's just
why
in 2022. Come on now. Come on. All right, guys, we're gonna take a break because I don't know how you transition to that back to a normal show. But in hour 2, we will have Lana segment on WMSC 90.3 Upper Montclair and more things to come. So we'll be right back after a quick little break. Good Lord.
Hey, bro, you want to
All right, guys, we're back. That was a quick little break, just kind of reset the room a little bit, but it is hard to reset after that kind of story. That I've covered a lot of things on the Morning Buzz. The invasion of Ukraine, COVID, a lot of other crazy things, hard news stuff. This might be one of the most bizarre things I've ever read in my life.
It's just like, it's one of those things where if it wasn't so devastating, it would go in the last 15 minutes of the hour 2 hours of weird news. But
Yeah,
just
it actually originally it was, because at first I just saw the headline. I was like, and then I read it. I was like, this is getting worse and worse the more I read it. This, what a time to be alive, man. In 2022. Now we're gonna change the setting here. We got some more things to talk about. Obviously, Alana, her critically acclaimed segment's coming up. The people are talking. Margaret from accounting said, I really like that Alana segment. And I would agree. It's quite the program.
Margaret in 2022.
There's gotta be a Margaret in 2022. Margaret?
Somewhere out there.
Margaret Thatcher?
Isn't she dead?
You need to relax. You need to relax. Listen, guys, we have some more things to talk about, but first we got to get to some business, and business is in the news, and only one person can give us the updates going on around the world. Take it away, Amina. Oh, wait, actually, hold on. I'm sorry, Amina. I forgot to say this. This is my bad. Hey, sometimes you forget about things. I was distracted. I was supposed to mention this during the break, but Amina, you are actually not going to do the Hour 2 newscast because we have to help Alana and her ADJ journey. Lana, do you have a
just
newscast?
telling her?
Huh? Yeah, because I totally forgot. This is sad. Very disappointing.
Slapping me in the face.
I know. I know.
I
but
do,
okay,
but I can't. I'm gonna be on a show later. If
Oh, so then you know what, Lana, we're gonna mute you. Amina, take it away.
Are we sure this time?
Amina, just go.
In national news, a Russian cosmonaut, Anna Kakina, rocketed from the U.S. on Wednesday for the first time in 20 years. She launched to the International Space Station alongside NASA and Japanese astronauts, despite tensions over the war in Ukraine. Despite their SpaceX flight being delayed by Hurricane Ian, they're due to arrive at the space station today and won't be back on Earth until March. They're replacing a U.S.-Italian crew that arrived in April. The next crew exchange is going to be set for the spring. In state news, after reading a new investigation detailing allegations of emotional abuse and sexual misconduct in America's top professional women's soccer league, Governor Phil Murphy said he was disgusted. These allegations include accusations against a coach who once worked for the New Jersey team Murphy co-owns, New Jersey/New York Gotham FC, formerly known as Sky Blue FC. Murphy stated that he hopes the NWSL will put reforms in place so that this never happens again, but refused to talk about the specifics as the league is conducting its own investigation at this time. And in local news, the Essex County Sheriff's Crime Stoppers program is offering a $10,000 reward for information leading to the arrest of the person or persons responsible for the fatal shooting of Latrell Duncan, 16, who was a student at East Orange Campus High School. Anyone with information is asked to contact the Essex County Prosecutor's Office Homicide/Major Crimes Task Force Tips Line or the East Orange Police Department Tips Hotline. Calls will be kept confidential. And looking at the weather today, it is partly cloudy with a high of 75 and a low of 48, with a humidity level of 93% and good air quality with a level of 17.
Thank you, Amina. Glad you got to do the news. Yep.
No thanks, never mind.
Yeah, hey, everyone
GT,
needs to relax, all right?
Amina, you did an amazing job.
I was gonna say
It was fantastic. I felt informed for the second time today.
Yeah,
It was
not-
great.
man,
JT, shut it. Listen, I'm glad the weather is all the way back, guys. Winter is done. We're back. We're getting back 75 degrees. That's a beautiful time to
Oh
be
my
alive.
God, I am so happy to
I
vouch for
know.
heat. And that.
Dude, it's been cold.
Anthony got mad at me yesterday after he likes the room freezing. I had to
would like.
I had to suffer for the entire first month. I get back into the dorm at 1 o'clock tomorrow morning. This morning. He goes, I hope you're happy. Walk into the room. I'm thinking like the room's a mess or something like that. I walk in there, I don't see anything. I'm like, What? He goes, it's hot in there. I'm like, first of all, it's not that hot. Second of all, after you kept the room at 50 degrees for the entire month,
50 degrees?
yeah, he
That's
likes
absurd.
I don't want to hear it.
You know what? You know what it is? It's all that hair he's got. He's got to get a haircut, and then he'll understand the weather around him.
Bro, I was in the room. I took a lazy day. He's out of the room all day. I didn't change the settings. I just turned the air off so I could breathe in the room. He gets back and goes, don't touch my air conditioning. You have your own. If yours doesn't work, I'm like, bro, shut up.
Golly.
Anyway, we're not here to make fun of Ant. I'll do that when he's here.
Yeah, Anthony. Now the
It's not a
sports
sneaky
world.
thing you say it to his face.
I'll say it to his face right now.
I will. Anthony, I hope you're listening.
Yeah, Anthony, why are you on the show? Jerk. Listen, what a good guy. Now, Campbell, the sports world is indeed, like we used to say, on fire. Things are going down. Games are being won. Games are being lost. Speeches are being done at halftime. Fans are in the stands. I don't know what else to describe as a game, but you got more information on what's going on in multiple leagues across the United States.
Yes, I do. And last night, the regular season concluded with Jeff McNeil winning the batting title. Aaron Judge, he leads the American League in home runs and RBIs, but couldn't get that batting average up as he lost on the elusive Triple Crown. ESPN will carry the wild card series throughout the weekend. That starts tomorrow. But there's Thursday night football tonight as the Broncos will take on the Colts, and the Colts won't have Jonathan Taylor, their star running back. NHL preseason last night, the Rangers lost to the Bruins 5-4, and tonight the Devils go to Long Island and take on the Islanders. NBA preseason, the Nets play the Heat tonight, and the Knicks are off, but will play tomorrow. And yes, the Montclair State women's soccer team, number 10 in the country, has won again 8-0 against John Jay. They are 11-0, and Aileen Cahill and Kylie Prendergast set program record as both of them had hat tricks. That has never been done before, and that is an amazing accomplishment. That is all for the 8 a.m. Sportscast. I'm Campbell Donovan, 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair.
Thank you, good Sir Campbell. We appreciate you reporting on the news in the sports world.
You good?
Yeah, and
And-
also one thing before we go on, I know you mentioned about the Red Hawks. Make sure you say happy birthday to Rocky the Red Hawk.
No, here's the thing. We're not going to make sure about anything, all right? I'm not going to say happy birthday to that whack piece of garbage of a bird, all
Happy
right?
birthday,
The waste
Rocky.
of time. I'm muting you, Lana. You could even look. Your mic's off. I don't want to hear it from you. Listen, we need to stop supporting this communist bird, all right? We need to stop supporting this
No,
absolute
Team
monstrosity of a mascot.
Is ableist.
Ugh.
What?
Give me a second.
Get out of here.
No. It just makes me mad. I have always wanted to be a mascot. Why? Because I do stupid things out of costume. Why not throw in a costume?
You
and have
want
an
to you
excuse?
want to don the mascot?
I would
of
have
Red
made
Hawk?
Rocky respectable.
No, I
and
don't think so.
I would have
No,
found a way.
Because my thing is this.
I would have found a way.
Rocky's been living a lie. Rocky has been spreading misinformation.
Is that so?
Rocky is a cult, and I
No,
will
it
not
is.
stand for it.
It is.
Because you people support this bird like he's the end all be all of mascots.
But I
Well,
would
let me
have
tell
given
you,
them a reason to
he's
support.
the lamest mascot I've ever seen in my life. All right.
I would have made him better.
Stanford's mascot is a tree, and I would support Stanford's mascot.
I
more.
support the trees. Support the trees. But here's what they
This
did
is
to me.
ridiculous.
Where's your sense of school spirit?
But here's the no. Want to know where they
Isaiah
lost?
has a UCLA.
Want to know where they
That
lost
goes
my
to
school
show
spirit?
why.
When I freshman year walked up to a Rocky the Red Hawk stand and I said, if you would like to be the bird, how'd you become it? And they give me a flyer. I go to my friends and one of them goes, are you sure you're not too short? And I'm like, wait, that's probably something the school would do. So I walk right back up to the stand. I go, this might be a dumb question, but is there a height requirement? And they were like, yeah, you have to be at least 5'8". And I'm like, do I look 5'8"?
Hey man, just put
And
on
ever
some
since
boots.
then, I said to myself, you know what? I'm going to be a better mascot. And
Yeah.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Listen, guys.
Doing a
Rocky could catch these hands Monday through Sunday. All right. Golly. Now, Lana's once again kicking it back with Lana, critically acclaimed. Take it away, my friend.
Thank you. And before I start my segment today, I just want to mention I was on All Right, So Boom with Cam Martin last night, and we had our debate over DC and Marvel, and I
Oh.
finally got someone to agree with me on DC.
No.
X
and
also
I-
likes it cool, so he doesn't count.
Wait, who agreed with you, Lana?
X.
Xavier.
Really?
Yes, he also likes Room 50 Degrees as he was in my room last
Oh
night. making fun of me, so,
no.
yeah, his opinion's no.
No, he was a nice guy.
He's a nice guy.
Now I can't trust him.
No,
Oh,
it's been disowned. It's okay.
This is
He's used to
sad.
it.
What a terrible day. What a terrible day. Lana, I hope you got some good news for us.
Please.
I got something. Mortal Kombat Legends Snowblind comes out Sunday for digital. It is based on the popular game. A shattered hero must overcome blindness inflicted from battle to save his village and all of the Earth realm.
Yeah, that's
Why are they making another Mortal Kombat movie. The
Listen,
last one didn't
right?
hit.
they made 2 recently. Is that not what went
Two in the
down?
past, like probably like 7 years.
And neither one of them hit.
Huh.
Think about it. It's just a game of just like we're like severely disturbed kids just watch graphic.
Oh, it's a
images.
cartoon.
That somehow makes more sense.
Yeah,
It is
I guess.
animated.
Yeah, at least it's different. Like I thought it was another live action one. It's like, what again?
Yeah.
But I guess like animated, I ain't got no beef with that. I guess
I
at
ain't
least it's
got
like
no beef.
different somewhat.
I ain't got no beef. I might have some turkey, but I ain't got no beef. That was so
Turkey in
horrible.
October.
It was bad.
That
I'm
was
not
a
saying that it
sad,
was.
sad time.
Listen, Mr.
You're gonna get
Program.
muted.
Listen, Mr.
You're
Program.
muted. No one can hear you. That you should be ashamed of yourself. What a shame. And
Listen, Mr.
Campbell's is
Program,
muted. as
you're
well.
not allowed to
You
speak.
think I'm new here? Lana, take it away. We good lord.
So also in the category we have Monster High the movie,
Oh, Monster High?
which comes
That's
out
the-
today.
You
No.
Oh,
Hold on.
it seems like a Monster High kind of person.
And I was. and I had the dolls,
Unbelievable.
too.
You had the dolls
I
too.
collected them, yes.
Ah,
Until my sister was born and just decided to play with them like regular dolls.
you got beef with your sister? You can let it out. This is like a venting area, all right?
No,
Whatever mean things you have to
okay.
say to your sister, let it out now.
It's okay. That was the end of my fake
Mm.
Monster High phase. So
Then you
Was
watched,
it really, or did you just realize you had to?
no, because I literally I would keep them on my dresser lined up. I did not play with them.
so it was like an altar. You were worshiping them.
No, I was
Pray to the Monster High toys.
I was a
Interesting.
collector.
Oh, Monster High. I don't know the characters' names. I was good to get really.
Listen,
into the dress.
Lana's about to list some names, I'm sure, about who we can
Oh.
see in this movie.
Yeah, so it comes out today on Paramount Plus. Like the show before it, Monster High follows Claudine, a werewolf-human hybrid, arriving at her new school, Monster High. After meeting new friends, Claudine feels like she finally belongs, but feels the need to hide her human half. When a threat plans to harm her and the school, Claudine must find a way to save the day and embrace her true monster heart.
Nice. That seems like something you could talk about. Identity crisis. Are monsters like
I don't believe monsters count as a marginalized group, but I will speak.
they're
in terms-
monsters? Hold on. They're monsters, and she's kind of fighting with like, which identity am I?
I'm
kinda
gonna
thing
say this,
going on.
Amina. You might hate me. Buckle up, because I don't mean this in a way that's gonna come across.
Oh lord.
But
God.
Oh
just
no.
the very concept of the plot tells me that this had the potential to be like a very, I want to say more mature type of story, like the plot itself. But instead, we got Halloween brats.
Well, it's a cartoon.
It's a cartoon for kids.
Very much so.
What did
I,
you expect?
I expected.
You
a
thought this was
cartoon.
gonna be some politically
Not
hard hitting
at all. Not at all. That's not
talking
what I'm
about
saying.
diversity
Not at all.
and what
That's
you
not
should.
What I'm saying. What I'm saying is it had the potential to be
What
that.
on earth?
Think
Well,
about it.
Disney already has a movie like that, isn't it? The Boy Who Cried Werewolf.
I think that's
First-
Nickelodeon.
Yeah, in Paramount Plus, that's Nickelodeon.
And they talk about
right
hard
there.
hitting stuff like that?
In the movie. I mean,
If you
she was
watch-
fighting becoming a werewolf and she was human, so
Is that what that movie's about?
Yeah, essentially. If you watch any of those shows, you'll see why the conservative Facebook mommies hate Disney and Nickelodeon, because they're like, they're
Facebook
teaching my child diversity and I won't stand for it.
Well, you listen here. It's time. I can't do it. It's
Just stop.
yeah. Listen.
you
Monster
yourself?
High I'm excited. That's probably gonna be movie of the year. I honestly think that is gonna win.
We're gonna watch it right
awards.
after the buzz.
Absolutely. I have Paramount Plus.
So do I.
Do you really? You
Yeah, I
pay for
do.
that?
Yes,
That's crazy.
unfortunately.
I get it for free.
Oh,
Yeah.
How do you
think
get
I
it
do
for
too.
free?
Yeah, I got sources.
Look at Isaiah getting ins everywhere.
which is off of mommy and daddy, or perhaps a brother.
Hey, bro, I don't know my dad. We don't talk about that.
Oh, yeah,
We
forget
should
that.
talk about the movie Amsterdam.
Yeah. So Amsterdam comes out tomorrow and is rated R in theaters. Amsterdam follows three friends in the 1930s who happen to witness a murder and are now suspects themselves. Follow them as they uncover one of America's greatest mysteries. And this movie has some big names in it. We got Margot Robbie, Christian Bale, John David Washington, Chris Rock.
Chris Rock?
Yeah, I didn't add it into the script, but yeah, Chris Rock is in it.
Chris Rock too, man. I mean, I heard some interesting things about this program. You know, I don't think Amsterdam's like would that get you into theaters? You know? I don't think so. Seems like a Netflix exclusive movie to me. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, Netflix is on its
It's
way out
cable.
though.
It's cable? Wow. On TNT? With commercials? That's the only time you're
No.
gonna watch it?
This is very Lifetime.
That's just
Don't do that.
that's yeah. You put some respect on Lifetime, all right? The greatest movie makers of this generation.
No.
Don't even.
Man, that was hard to say, but Amina,
No.
I was on your side for a couple seconds.
For a couple of seconds.
Couple seconds, I was really trying to fight for you.
Bro.
You know, I'm curious to see if it's going to be a good movie or not. As critics start to analyze it.
I'm sorry, but
start to
critics
analyze it.
too much. They
Yeah, I mean they try hard
Like,
to be different.
I've seen bad movies. Like I've seen mid movies, and then I've seen mid movies, looked at the reviews, and they just do so much. I'm like, it actually starts to make me actually like the movie.
Mm.
Like that's literally what ends up happening. I'm like, okay, it wasn't that bad. Calm down.
He was all right, you know.
Question. Did
Yes.
you watch Hocus Pocus too?
Yes.
Oh Lord, not
It
the
was-
Hocus Pocus. It was bad.
Listen,
Let
I made my girlfriend watch it with me.
Hold on, Amina. You were all defensive about Hocus Pocus and Hocus Pocus 2.
Oh, we were.
I stand against Hocus Pocus 1. I just said Hocus Pocus
Those
2.
two?
Let-
I'm gonna get
But I
rid of it.
expected that.
you think
though.
it's worse than Mid?
Like, it
Why?
just-
What was it so bad about it?
I feel like Hocus Pocus 2, like it just didn't.
It tried to capture the charm that the 90s version had while also trying to shove 2022
Yeah,
humor.
and it wasn't. It was like
It just didn't mesh.
maybe if
at
I was,
all.
maybe if we were like children, we probably would have thought
Funny
it was
story. Like I made my girlfriend watch Hocus Pocus. She hates Halloween and everything included. But in the relationship, you do things
Smart
you
lady.
hate. But shut up, Isaiah. I'm not allowed to tell her that, but I can tell you that.
Oof.
Anyway, I made her watch it with me, and she hated. She thought it was so scary, and the whole time she was like jumping. I'm like, Shekinah, it is a children's movie, but she really liked this, and she's like, maybe I like this one because it wasn't as scary. I'm like, no, you liked it because it was goofy, and like the first one wasn't goofy. Disney movies weren't always goofy. Disney movies weren't always Austin and Alley. They used to have some
Not
depth to them.
I just want to say to everyone in this room and in the Shadow Realm, on Facebook, on radio, on even the iHeartRadio apps where we are available. I told you so. I said this from the very
But
start,
you had
Your
no position.
opinion was invalid.
and it was
And it's
factual.
so
Was it
invalid.
not? It was factual from the
No,
jump.
you said
Hocus
the
Pocus
first one was
1,
bad.
Hocus
No.
Pocus 2, absolute waste of your time. And one thing that we as humans don't have a lot of is time. And I will not let anyone waste their precious time on such a terrible set of movies.
Don't
It's
listen.
a
I-
travesty.
I have the
It's an
full story.
embarrassment, and it's shameful. Campbell,
You get a haircut and you just have the worst views ever.
I haven't gotten a haircut in a while, and I really need one. But we don't need to talk about that. Campbell, did you watch Hocus Pocus 2?
No, I did not watch
Smart.
the first one.
Good. Keep it that way, Campbell.
I am a Halloween Town fanatic.
That's even a waste of time too.
silent.
No, you don't like what
Well,
did you
listen,
watch during
hold
the
on.
The fourth one. was
Kids' Halloween movies are by far some of the worst movies.
Oh,
on the
now you gotta
planet.
go. Now you gotta go.
Hey.
Listen,
Now you
every
gotta go.
single Halloween movie made for kids should be buried and should only be used as a form of torture.
No.
No.
Yeah,
Like
but
the
can't put
only
it
time
between
it is acceptable to watch a kid's Halloween movie is if you are waterboarding someone. All right, this is
Can you
shame.
even say that?
Just in case, Facebook got an exclusive. Listen, this is absurd, and I just, why are we doing this? Now, a real horror movie, down with it. I don't really mess with those spiritual ghost things. I'm not trying to get possessed by the devil.
You sound like you are the
But
way you're
I'm good on that.
blasphemy
But if you
everything.
got like some guy in a mask with a knife chasing you on Halloween, sign me up. Or you got zombies, cool. But kids' movies and Halloween are the corniest things on the planet.
So you don't like Halloween Town? You don't like Twitches?
No,
See,
no.
the
What?
first one.
All right.
Yeah.
Do
I
you
agree.
not like Nightmare Before Christmas?
I
You
think.
are on thin ice.
Hold on.
Like that movie either.
Everyone.
I'm sorry.
I'm
Y'all are
gonna
horrible.
I'm gonna have a moment of honesty. All right. I agree with Amina. I don't think it's that good of a movie. I think it's
Y'all are awful.
overhyped, and I think there's a certain genre of human that are only the ones watching that. And I'll let you do what you want with that information.
No, say it.
Um,
No, say it.
Nope.
Because I don't fit that blend.
I
because know exactly what
I
you're
like
thinking.
the vagueness of that statement, and I'm gonna keep it that way.
I know what you're
Because
thinking.
we
And
have a program to move on upon,
Oh,
and Lana's
continue,
got
yes.
more things to talk about. Sometimes instead of movies, I like to play a couple video games. All right.
That is true. I'm sorry, I'm still reeling from what you just said.
He's
but-
awful, right?
Oof. Anyway, Overwatch 2 came out on Tuesday for PS5, PS4, Xbox Series XS, Xbox One, Switch, and PC. Like the game before, Overwatch is a first-person shooter. Play as a time-jumping freedom fighter, a beat-dropping DJ, or one of the other 30 characters as you battle it out around the world.
You were very convincing with the around the world part.
Um,
I mean, I guess I heard some information that like the servers were down when they tried to launch the game, but
yeah, I think they fixed it. though.
yeah. From what I know, I played Overwatch 1. I don't understand why you would need a sequel for that. There was no like story. That's weird.
Isaiah, there's a reason.
Money.
Exactly.
Make people pay again. Now, listen, this next game could be exciting. Because it's got a pretty big name brand on there, Lana.
We got Nickelodeon Kart Racers 3, Slime Speedway.
Slime Speedway?
Yup, which comes out for PC, PS5, PS4, Xbox Series XS, and Xbox One. Choose from over 40 of your favorite characters over the years to race against your friends.
Well, that's fun.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you could race a SpongeBob,
Is that the only Nickelodeon character you know?
the Fairly Odd Parents.
Jimmy Turner?
I know a lot. I'm just
Danny Phantom?
Danny Phantom.
That was my show.
Both the Angry Beavers? Man, what other Nickelodeon show? Invader Zim?
Invader Zim. Oh,
That was a good one.
that was a good show.
I never watched the movie though. Jimmy Neutron.
Jimmy
Jimmy's mom.
What do
Guys, thank you, Lana. That
bars.
what are you singing right now?
The
Theme song for Jimmy
Thank
Neutron.
Oh, I just heard candy bars. I didn't. Why are you so offensive? Why are you so on edge right now?
Because
Are you a little hurt? Are you a little sad?
Yeah, I'm a little mad right now. And say it's me. You get out the Tonians. What?
Amina, you need to relax. All right.
You need to leave.
It's my show. Guys, we're gonna take a break. When we come back, we got some more stories. We got a lot of interesting ones. Who knows what we're gonna talk about? Because we have a lot. I will say this: we got a lot of stories left.
Oh boy.
Good luck, buckle up, I guess. We'll be back. This is Outcast, or is it?
I heard the COVID-19 vaccine.
Do we really know about the long-term?
Something on the internet about
There's a lot of talk about COVID-19 vaccines. Talk to your doctor or healthcare provider to make the decision that's right for you. Visit getvaccineanswers.org for more. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
I'm sorry, Miss Jackson.
Yesterday,
WMSC would like to welcome students new and old to MSU. We are pointing out some of the services and tools on campus to help everyone endure the first weeks of college. Life with a new roommate can be hard. Luckily, Montclair State is here to help you adapt to your unique personalities. When you see a conflict beginning to arise, talk to your RA. They can help you work through any small conflicts that may come up between you and your roommate. If the conflict proves too deep for your RA, then they can send you for mediation services to help the two of you come to a resolution. And of course, if all else fails, a roommate change can be done through Res Life. Montclair State wants their students to be happy and conflict-free. If tensions arise, don't hesitate to reach out and rectify them. For more information, visit montclair.edu/.
I didn't even have to like play the song. I just had to fade out of the office. I said, I'll wear this song. Fade out, come back in, and do that right.
You want to listen to a conversational talk show about pop culture and life as a college student? One where we discuss everything ranging from Disney movies to online personality quizzes to commuting to Montclair? I mean, basically it's whatever you want, but literally though, the show is called Whatever You Want, and I'm the host, Kate. Tune in for a positive, relaxed show every Thursday at 5 p.m. right here at 90.3 WMSC Upper Montclair.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have more things to talk about on this. Oh, what in the world happened to Lana? Lana, we good?
It's turned out.
That was horrific. Good Lord.
Wait, you were being that still that it thought you weren't in the room?
Yeah.
Okay, very quickly though, to the people, you know, I'm not gonna say it. Never mind. This is I can't talk. Listen, the bathrooms at Montclair should not have timers on them. That's all I'm gonna say. We need to move on though, because we cannot talk about things like that here. We need to talk about more important things like Five Nights at Freddy's. Wow.
Yay.
Everyone's favorite 2014 PC and console cult classic, Five Nights at Freddy's, is officially becoming a movie and has some updates on who will be making it. A film adaptation was originally set up at Warner Brothers and Vertigo Entertainment, but now horror experts Blumhouse will be leading the way. Amani Tamini is slated to direct an adaptation of the popular video game series set in a Chuck E. Cheese-like children's restaurant called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where the animatronics creatures go on a killing rampage after closing time unless you can stop them. Game creators Scott Cawthon and Seth Cuddyback. Those are terrible names, guys. You should change those. They will be involved and are writing the scripts as well, as Cawthorn and Jason Blum will produce the film through Blumhouse in association with Striker Entertainment. Cawthorn had high praise for the feature director, saying, quotes, "In a meeting with Emma, I felt like she had a great understanding of the franchise and really felt like she could craft something that would please the fan base and keep people on edge of their seat. Jam Henson's Creature Shop are handling the creation of the evil, murderous children's mascots, and filming is scheduled to begin in February 2023.
Ooh.
You guys into Five Nights at Freddy's? That was very underwhelming. You guys are not into that? No?
I
Actually,
never played it,
You never played it,
Yeah.
Campbell?
but I heard in the Fear Factor back in the day was playing Five Nights at Freddy's.
Interesting.
You know, it was a fear factor for me, the mobile game. It was this mobile horror game called Granny. You might have seen me playing it in the
oh, I've
office.
heard of Granny.
Yeah, it is basically have you never heard of Granny? It was like all the rage in like what was it, like 2018, 19?
I've never heard of Brand.
It's essentially it's kind of like Five Nights at Freddy, where it's like an obstacle course you got to get out. But essentially, the premise of the game is a horror movie based grandma has trapped you in her house, locked the door with a set of locks, and you have 5 days to find everything in the house you need. But instead of like Five Nights at Freddy, it actually runs on a timer. Whereas in Granny, 5 days, it's like you have to make it to the house, but you can't make any noise. You can't knock into anything because if like she hears noise, she'll run in and knock you out, and you have eventually 5 days is like 5
Granny's got
attempts.
hands?
Yeah, 5 days is
Nice.
5 attempts to get everything, and if you don't do it, she kills you essentially. And it was terrifying, and I loved it. And then
You would. You're like the Chucky horror movie guy.
Oh, I have a Chucky doll. I terrorized my hall with
It's
it. the other
weird,
week.
man. It's weird.
Yeah,
Very quickly though, Lana is the Five Nights at Freddy's fan here. How are you feeling about this movie? You excited? Are you like, oh no?
No, actually, I'm excited. Like, this has been like in the works for a while, and I'm actually happy that like it's becoming a thing.
Yeah, I think the good thing though, at least, is it's Blumhouse making it, and they're kind of into like the horror genre. So I'm curious if they go like super into like horror with like the Chuck E. Cheese people, or is it gonna be more comedic based with like horror elements? Hopefully it's good. And yeah, February 2023. So I guess we'll probably be out like 2025, 2024 kind of thing. I think that they should have made this years ago though. Who would like
They
not
were
for
trying
nothing,
to.
but it's been 8 years since that movie or since the game came out.
Well, the DLC for Security Breach comes out in December.
There's DLC, Lana.
Yes, there's a DLC.
Oh Lord, good Lord, we need to stop. Do we want to talk about entertainment, or we want to get into some crazier stories? What do you guys think? Amina, you decide. You want one more entertainment story? Crazy. All right. Well, we'll go to the L of the day, and I guess JT, you can hand it out today.
Me?
Yeah.
I get to hand out the L of the day to somebody other than you. Let's go.
All right. I could mute you. I could just rescind powers. All right.
You could fire
I
all
could
of
lose
us.
my privileges.
I do the show entirely by myself.
Uh,
Imagine that 2 hours of just me talking.
oh,
Good
God,
Lord.
the program joke.
The program would just never end. Ugh. Anyways,
For the L of the day, we head to the state of Louisiana, a state, great culture, unique food, the LSU Tigers, and so much more. But this prestigious award goes to another all-white running for Senate, a common thing throughout American history, where you bring incumbent Republican U.S. Senator John Kennedy to the stage and bestow the honor of the L of the day. Senator Kennedy released an ad for the 2022 United States Senate election as the midterms fastly approaches. This is the third televised ad of his re-election campaign, and he definitely went the route of political theater, which has become the norm at this point. During the ad, he was spewing a lot of nonsense, but one line sparked outrage online. J&K at one point says, "Look, if you hate cops just because they're cops, the next time you're in trouble, call a crackhead." I would. Anyway, a spokesperson with Kennedy campaign says the ad outlines Kennedy's record of fighting crime, supporting law enforcement, and working to make Louisiana communities safe. Kennedy has an extensive track record of combating crime and was recently endorsed by the Louisiana Sheriff's Association. You know what, Kennedy? I have called crackheads, and they're very helpful.
He thought he ate with that line.
yeah.
You thought we was feeling
No. Okay, can we say that or not? Because my thing is that is not explicit in nature.
Are you
Isn't it,
referring to munch?
A bag of chips?
Yes.
With the
He's saying
name
munch.
brand.
It's fine.
All right, shout out to the munches out there. Listen, this this story I found to be ridiculous because I was watching. I don't know if you guys have heard the ad before, but this was on par with the Ohio guy. I forget his name, but he pretty much started out his ad saying, like, "Do you hate Mexicans?" type of thing. Which I think we did on the show actually, which was absolutely insane. And I think that this guy, I guess, tried to do that kind of thing and really take that bold step. But I think everyone just like was left looking at him like, you're stupid. Like, this is hilarious. And the sad thing to me is that people would probably vote for this guy, regardless, which is concerning because who's like, my thing too is this was approved, planned, shot, edited, watched again before releasing, and then
doing
released.
that with stupidity. It's like when people release stupidity, it's like the collective sit around where you all just like analyze the fact that it had to have been pitched, it had to have been like approved, it had to have been filmed, it had to have been edited, it had to have been produced, it had to have been programmed before release. And all of those steps, not one person said, why Should we?
Yeah, no one's like, I don't know if this line's really hitting, guys. I feel like we should probably
See, we have an
do
excuse
something
for the
else.
wild things. At least like it's all in the spur of the moment, and sometimes things fly out of your mouth. Like when you refer to certain dictators as things you shouldn't refer to them as. Certain
or
things
when
fly
you
out of
do
your
like
mouth.
a fake slave auction thing, you know?
Well, no,
no. Okay,
backtrack.
yeah,
Anyway,
just making sure. Yep.
tried to trap me.
Yeah, I almost got you. I almost got
I
you.
was not getting you right there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous that is an actual pitch, and everyone was like, "That is genius. We need to get
I
on."
feel like
this
we're not
ASAP."
giving everybody credit. There's probably I want to give them the benefit of the doubt because it's
Why are we
Louisiana.
giving people
Because
the
it's
benefit of the
Louisiana, it's
doubt?
not Florida, and
No,
I have
no.
about a tiny fraction of a hair of a cubicle of faith in humanity that some one singular person in that room was like, should we? And everybody was like, no, it's funny.
No, I don't buy that at all.
'Cause I've been
No.
I have been that person to go, I don't think this is a good idea. And everybody's like, oh my God, no, shut up. This is a great idea. And then it all goes wrong. And I'm that one in the back, like,
Can you describe a situation where that happened?
not on air.
Oh, wow. Were you in California recently by chance?
No.
No. All right.
was in South
I
Jersey,
gotta
which
stop making
was-
jokes about that. Listen, guys, we need to talk about a very controversial thing making the rounds online, and it involves a wedding that took a horrific turn.
Oh,
We head to the Mormon safe place known as Utah. As the family is in the middle of an ugly battle with Midvale wedding venue. Daisy and Kevin had gotten engaged in March of 2021. Daisy and Kevin, man. And after a lot of planning, selected Midvale to host their wedding. Sadly, Kevin did take his life just 2 weeks before the wedding, and naturally, Daisy and both families involved had to go about canceling the ceremony while also mourning the loss of a loved one. Everything was completely set up for the wedding, from dresses to venue, and now the family began to talk to all the businesses involved and explain the tragic situation. Every company understood the magnitude and circumstances and reimbursed them given the tragedy. Some gave complete refunds or at least partial refunds. But since this is the morning buzz, that means one company decided not to follow suit, and due to a policy in which you need a 90-day notice to cancel an event at the venue. Daisy's mother said, quotes, on the contract, it says no refunds unless it is 90 days. We didn't have 90 days notice. But the family does admit the Woodhaven Point doesn't have to provide a refund, but they think they should, given the circumstances. The family at Woodhaven Point instead offered a celebration of life services for Kevin, which they found to be incredibly insulting. Daisy and her family spread the word about how they were seeking a refund from Woodhaven Point, which they spread to social media, news networks, and people started to review bomb the place. Now, the question of the day at this point is, should the wedding venue refund the family?
It's not funny. It's not funny. Haha. It's just funny. What the heck are y'all? They basically said, I'm sorry. Sorry he committed suicide. We can't refund you though. But you can have the funeral with us.
I think that's crazy.
It's wild. Oh, you're the one putting that there.
Yeah, I mean, I can't I have to turn around and try to see people.
Every time
it's
Laura
hard.
comes in here, she freaks out, goes, whoever did this, I hate you, jacks it all up. And I'm always just curious. I'm like, I wonder.
Yo,
who
really
actually
quick,
is doing it.
Laura, if you want the smoke, come get the smoke. Trying to come on now. Very quickly though, back to the subject. Just kidding, my friend. Listen, this whole thing is very interesting because I think it's very easy to say that this is the wrong thing to do. All right.
Very.
And honestly, from my perspective, I think
I'm pretty sure the other companies probably have no refund policies too.
I work at a bakery
Yes.
and
Can you be baking?
No. No. But we do wedding cakes, and it just so happens we get people that literally call and say the wedding is off.
Oof.
Suggesting they're not getting married anymore, or sometimes even like a divorce. And we do have a policy similar to this, you can cancel, but you don't get a full refund. I think you only get 50%.
Yeah.
But in those cases, it's the situation where okay, yeah, because it's just, I feel like it's just being a decent human.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, obviously they're not trying to like pull one over on us, you know? So it's like, why not just
Amina, I have a question though.
Yeah.
So like when that happens and
Mhm.
like the cake is like say already made, what happens to the cake?
Well, usually it's not the day of, but we do get people that do cancel the day of because of like maybe like a death in the family or something. In that case, usually we try to just sell it in the store. But
Could you
other-
imagine that's how a wedding works? Someone's like, man, no one bought a cake. Let's just see if they have one. And it's like, it happens to be at Amina's bake shop. I like how I just assume you're the owner, Amina.
Oh, I love that. Look, if my boss is listening to this, I think that
It
sounds
rings.
nice.
It kind
Amina's
of
the new
rings.
owner.
Amina's Bake Shop.
Amina's Bake Shop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
they
I
sell
think we got to
cakes
make
and
some
other
changes
things.
because just Amina's Bake Shop just sounds so much better.
Yeah. Amina, you're the new owner. I'll email the previous owner and let him know. And
Let them know.
congrats.
Let
Congrats.
them know they can take a break.
Yeah.
But yeah. Like Amina was saying, it's like for certain I think it just depends on the circumstance because at one point there is a lot of labor that goes into it. It's like people who work on weddings, like anybody that works for weddings, no matter what the position is, they put work into that and they get paid because like that, like even the people who just take the pictures, I know some people who like take photos for weddings and like that's like the only thing they do because like they put work into that. So I understand the labor. So it's one thing if it's just like, you know, I can kind of understand people not wanting to give a full refund just because like you decided to call the wedding off. Like I can see that. Like if I've put hours and hours into like, you know, doing something for you and your husband cheats, my bad. He's a dirtbag, but like I still spent 9 hours. So like,
yeah,
I'm gonna help you out. But if he like killed himself, like there's a little bit of
I think
humanity
morally,
there.
this is a very easy thing to be like, well, just give him at least like a partial refund or something, like because no one was obviously expecting that. It's very tragic, and I think we're all on the same page when it comes to that morally. And to play devil's advocate because you kind of have to. From the business owner's perspective of this venue, I imagine at some point they probably had to rent a bunch of things out for this event, and I'm assuming they probably had a lot of stuff already made for the event. Which means they probably spent a lot of money on the event already, and we're expecting to obviously get paid. And I'm assuming that maybe the expenses might have been too much to just give a refund, which is why they offered a very weird alternative. It's hard to really try to find the backing here.
That's why I was laughing. I'm like,
it's hard. I'm trying to play devil's advocate here, but it's like
But see, even if that's
just like
the
at least a
case,
partial refund, you know?
it's like if you're the business owner, and I feel like that's your thing, you have what's the word? Like people use your venue
Service.
for events all the time. I feel like you already have these things. So it's
Yeah.
not like you're losing out. Just use it for the next wedding.
My thing is also this is like clearly this was a bad decision from a PR perspective as well because they're getting review bombed right now, and I don't imagine a lot of people are going to be going to them to rent places anymore.
I probably would have noticed because I don't ever look at reviews.
I definitely do.
I do.
Yeah, I think it's pretty important. But I think at some point, like I'm assuming the owners now are probably thinking, man, if we just like gave them a partial refund, we probably could have gotten like some pretty good PR out of this. And now they're kind of in a bit of a firestorm right now.
It's like
Because now you're like, because what makes it worse is like they're the singular company that didn't even get like a partial refund. And the idea of hosting like a celebration of life for the guy at where you're supposed to get married is kind of uncomfortable, I would imagine, and like very
crazy.
insulting. It's like
just we cannot give you a refund for the wedding,
but
we
could
can
throw
host the funeral.
we could throw a banger of a funeral though. Like I'm talking
now, like
DJ.
Yeah, like we still have the DJ rent.
All the
but, like,
food is there.
Instead of your favorite, we can play the song you guys are supposed to dance to as this Paul Bear song.
We could play the Undertaker's
horrible.
theme song as we
The
start to
Undertaker.
yeah. Like listen, that
Ah,
I'm just saying this is brutal, man. I think this is a pretty easy, just if you're a human, you have compassion for someone. Clearly they didn't have a warning that the husband was gonna take his life. It's kind of just do the right thing morally. I don't think it's that hard of a decision to make. But now let's have some celebration though in the next story, JT, because someone celebrating their birthday.
oh yeah. Yeah.
You good? Are you gonna
No,
start?
I thought you took the story out, and then I just realized you changed the title.
Change the title?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we traveled to New Jersey's ugly cousins. What? I say
Ugly
AKA
cousin's
state of
house.
Connecticut.
Listen, Connecticut, smelly, stinky, does not use deodorant, and very similar to New Jersey, you know?
Okay.
I feel like New Jersey and Connecticut are similar, but like New Jersey puts on cologne. They shave themselves a little bit from time
New
to
Jersey
time.
has a sense of like musk and cologne.
Yeah, and then it's like, you know, at least we have an easy way into New York.
When you haven't showered, so you think Axe body spray is gonna hide that. Like,
Who
That's
says
not
that?
The smell of New Jersey.
Very quickly, what's the longest you guys have gone without showering?
on my depression moments,
Oh.
I've gone max 3. Max.
3
Max.
days?
But that's like going nowhere, just like in my bed every day. And on it's to the point where like
Stinky.
that happened. Like I can probably count on my hands the time of the times it's got to that one hand. And it got to the point where
So
the
it's
third day I
happened
was like,
more than once.
listen, depression is a thing. And it's got to the point where by the third day, if I haven't even I've at least got out of bed by the third day, I'm like, okay, this is enough. I refuse to go another day.
Mm-mm-mm.
Oh, please don't act so high and mighty. Anyway,
Listen, if I know one thing, the nighttime I'm showering because
I doubt that.
I be frying things. I can't be smelling like fried food. I be going to the gym. I can't be smelling like sweat. All right.
Do you guys sit on your bed with your outside clothes?
Sometimes.
Yeah, sometimes I do. Just because like you have a
For the
long
record,
day. And
I
it's
don't
just,
make
like,
a habit out of it. I try to shower at least every day.
at least every day.
Maybe one.
See, the more you talk, the more stinky
up.
you get.
Gosh.
Why did you have to phrase it like that? Like I try at least.
Exactly.
You have
Like,
lazy days.
I'm tempted.
You have lazy
I
days.
have never been lazy enough to be like, I'm just not gonna shower.
Okay, like you say you shower at night, right?
Yeah.
You get home after a long day. You get home at 1
Absolutely,
o'clock in the
'cause it's
morning.
a
You say
great-
I'll shower in the morning.
No, I'm showering at the night. Just it could be a quick one. I just gotta like,
See, I can't do quick showers. That's why I'll be like, I'll save it for the morning.
nah, man, no.
Mm.
Ugh.
I call cap on that.
Go.
So how long?
Do you want me to do a log?
Oh man, I'd be having concerts and that like that.
We all be having content.
Like,
you
listen,
know?
like if I don't have time for a full
like,
world
what's
tour
the
in the
minimum?
shower,
Yeah.
like that's what I'll be
Play
like.
some
I'll save
music,
it.
yeah.
Exactly. I'll save it for the morning. Like if I
No,
shower,
no.
shower at 2 o'clock
You
in the morning,
cannot
I
be
live in an
defending
apartment.
not showering. That is crazy.
Listen, I am not Mila Kunis, okay? I actually shower. But,
But you said like maybe, like when you're like,
yes, as in I try to shower every day, but every once,
it's
but once in a while,
shower.
once in a while, I will have a day where I'm like, I'll save it for tomorrow.
At least twice a month, I wash my clothes. It's pretty much the vibes I'm getting.
So you shower every day, but you only do laundry twice.
No, I'm saying that's from your perspective. I
Okay.
do laundry, you
In a-
know.
Okay, in a way, I kind of understand Jason's
Oh,
point of
Lana.
view.
Oh,
Because
I'm about to mute you. I'll find a way from here.
if you wash your hair every day, that's actually with shampoo, that's bad.
oh,
for
I
your
don't
hair.
wash my hair every day. No. I just wash the body, you know, because you be getting those natural body smells.
Exactly.
You be sweating through the day. You be doing things throughout the day. You
I
just
still haven't read the story.
listen, because you said something wild, man.
We're talking about this instead now.
Yeah. Anyways, birthday parties. Crazy.
31-year-old Forenza Rakeem Murphy, ooh, that'd be a fire rapper name if he wasn't going to jail, was serving time on a
Spoilers.
robbery charge at a Connecticut Department of Corrections halfway house in Bridgeport when he left without permission. I have questions. Murphy had successfully escaped and was enjoying the air with a special sense of freedom. Finally, he was free. The 31-year-old escaped back in August and was living his life. But Murphy's birthday was here and there, nothing that would stop him from celebrating. So his family began to set up for the birthday party bash of the year. Murphy arrived and his family was still setting up as the cops pulled up after receiving a tip that Murphy was in the area. Police arrived at his family's house and arrested him before the party even began. Sheriff Reginald B. Scandrett, that is such a Connecticut name, bragged about arresting our guy on his birthday and said, "If you make your way into Henry County, we're going to get on your trail and we won't stop until you're caught." It was a great collaborative effort with the Connecticut DOC that led to the apprehension of Murphy.
Man,
On his birthday.
I have
on
questions.
his birthday.
I have
man.
questions. I have questions.
What's your question, JT?
First of all, the halfway house, I don't know exactly what one is. And the way they phrased it just makes it seem like he just like casually walked out of a prison.
yeah, I'm all yeah, but I think that's kind of what he did, but not in like an actual prison setting. I think he's just like, I'm good. I'm not gonna
What's
stay
a
here.
halfway house?
It's like the in between before like getting out of like you leave jail, but you go into that house before you go back into like life. I think
Mm,
like you just be live there so you can like get prepared for everything. But
uh,
you still have like certain rules, like you got to be home by like this time, or you can't leave on this time of the day or whatever.
oh.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, he just dipped. Which I guess security was like, go on. But why on his birthday, man? Like you escaped for 2 months like that? From August until October?
First of all, if you're an escapee, I understand laying low for a while. Laying low is not 2 months.
Yeah, like he just
Like, not that I condone
it
or
must have been a
whatever.
real important
Yeah,
birthday.
not that I condone or whatever, but if I know I'm on the run for a like crime, I'm not showing my face for at least about a couple of years.
Yeah.
Like, especially like I just escaped a prison. I know every cop in the vicinity is like knows my face. I'm going to wait until I'm absolutely sure the majority of cops have forgot about me. I'm not just gonna be like, it's my birthday day, I'll show up.
I probably just wouldn't return back to that town. You know? I'd like be I'm good.
Also, why 31? That's like just like a weird year to like.
I
not
know.
have,
Like
a
my thing is like maybe
beach party.
his homegirl was there.
But it's the fact that the family was really setting up the
I think
party.
it's
Like
they were
so
all
y'all
okay
are
with
just
it.
like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, like just to celebrate. Like we won't tell nobody.
That's wild. Everyone was like, we know you're supposed to be like in jail right now, but
Yeah, like
your birthday's coming up. We can throw something for you. Like what? Also, whoever tipped them off is like that's cold blooded, man. On his birthday. On his birthday. Come on. Anyways, guys, you ever just feel like tackling little kids?
No.
My
No?
siblings,
No?
maybe.
Just like full on with a helmet on though. Like say you're playing football, just like spear them.
I've had many jobs.
That sounds
and people
illegal.
come in with syringes. And there's a line I always say, but I'm not sure I can say it, but it's really funny. I'll wait till after air. But yes,
Good
to
Lord.
answer your question, sometimes it gets that bad.
Jeez. Well, I mean,
But I would never do it.
well, you know, somebody
It's just
did.
like somebody comes in with their children squealing bloody murder, and it's usually over. My mommy didn't buy me this toy from the other store in the mall, and I like look in your like I look at their parents. I'm like, are you gonna do something, or are you gonna yell at me if I? But I don't say it or do it, but I think it, and they see it on my face, and I look at the kid, I look at them, and my face clearly says, "Get your kid."
I think that's just a very like based off of how you grew up type of thing, because I do the same thing. Like when I see children like crying in the store and the parents just casually pushing them in the car, I'm just be like,
can you control that thing?
No, because like then at the other end, I could kind of understand it because some kids be evil and they know what they're doing. And at a certain point of parenthood, you know your kid, so you refuse to give them the attention that they're like crying for. Like when it's a 9-year-old, like I was literally in Olive Garden working, and I hear what sounds like it's this kid screaming, and it sounds like a child. It sounds like a baby, but it's too loud to be like an actual infant. It's like carrying throughout the store. So I get curious and I look, this kid has to be like 9 years old.
He was 9.
Yeah, but he's like crying like a baby screaming for milk. And like the mom's not even like looking at him, like just casually talking with her husband. And he's sitting there head to the ceiling, squelching. And I'm like, yo, if you don't get this kid, I'm gonna
like control that thing.
Like
man.
I'm gonna accidentally have an accident with some chicken gnocchi. Like if you don't control like
Why wouldn't they give the
Chicken
kid the
yolk.
milk though? It's just
well, like but that's what a baby does when they're hungry. That's how they let you know they're
But like to
hungry.
be 9 years old and throwing a fit like that, like you're too old for that. That's not
Yeah,
even
so like
cute anymore.
that's what an example. Like he was doing it for attention, and like I guess his mom knows him enough to like not give him the attention, which I understand. But at the same time, for the rest of us,
it's like you're annoying, dude.
but see, I just look at it like I wouldn't have even been able to do that in the store. Like,
Yeah. I would've been like, you know what, we're going home then. Mhm.
That's just you don't do that.
Yeah.
see.
my
I
mom
don't
has done a
like-
lot more for a lot less. So like
I
for that,
guess this doesn't bother me as much because like apparently from between like the ages of like 2 and 4, I was this child.
Lana. What?
that doesn't surprise
Lana
me.
was a wild one.
Lana, you were getting crazy.
That
You were-
doesn't surprise me.
What I've been told, and I kind of remember, I used to throw myself down in parking lots and have temper tantrums.
Oh my
I can
god.
just see you now.
Lana. The disrespect.
Love you, but that doesn't surprise me at all. Like at all.
I don't do that anymore.
I would hope
I
not
could
at
see
your
Lana
age.
like giving
That's
it a try.
hilarious. Wow. Anyways, guys, let's talk about 41-year-old David Allen Taylor, and he's the only one who felt that way about tackling kids, everyone. Well, we head to Pensacola as a Pensacola man was arrested and charged with child cruelty. Why, you may ask? For not being able to resist the urge to tackle kids. After allegedly running onto a youth football field and placing a helmet on his head and striking a child last week. And now, according to the arrest report, a deputy was at the football field watching a youth football practice when he saw several coaches arguing with Taylor, who was also the parent of one of the players. Taylor was yelling, cursing, and approaching the coaching staff in an aggressive manner, and the 9-year-old football players were doing a one-on-one tackling drill, which is business as usual in good old youth football. Now, during the tackling scrimmage, one of the kids overpowered another child, and the child started to cry. What a baby. Taylor immediately ran out of the football field and was angry due to his kids crying. Then Taylor put on a child football helmet, got in a kneeling stance in front of the victim, then ran and struck the victim in the chest area with a football helmet. Taylor then grabbed the victim by his arms and pushed him several feet and then placed the victim on his back on the ground in an aggressive manner. And that is also according to the report. And at that point, the deputy said the coaches intervened and Taylor began to argue with them. The location of the incident was redacted in the arrest report, so we don't know exactly where it took place. All that we know is in Pensacola, Florida, but he was booked into Escambia County Jail on $30,000 bond. What?
I have so many questions.
You know how they say, I'll go to jail over mine?
Yeah.
This is why I never say that, because there's like reasonable situations to get defensive over your kids, and then there's
There's ride or die, and then there's whatever this is. Like, what on to tackle a kid? Now, hold on. I'm gonna throw it to the sports guy really quick. You said you're very interested in this, Campbell. What do you think, as the sports guy here? How do you explain the mindset of the parent?
WSC upper month.
Oh, it's 9. No, this show flew by, guys. Wow, what a program! What a program!
What a program.
How many programs have you said today?
Don't worry. Hey, you said it yourself, Lana. There's only one person that hasn't said program, and that's Amina.
Yeah, and you won't get it out of me.
Oh, come on.
It's 9:01. Show's over.
All right, Campbell. What do you think on this before we
The
leave?
stupidity of this father to have the audacity to intervene in a practice. And I don't know why the coaches didn't do anything before this guy even put the football helmet on. Like,
Where did he get the helmet?
My thing is, like, he got a child's helmet and was able to tackle someone and no one stopped him?
No, I don't think he'd be able to put on a child's helmet.
Apparently, he got it
Which
on.
leads me to believe he has his own helmet.
You think he just carries around a football helmet, reliving the glory days?
Like football parents, like people be tiger parents. Like he probably like literally like carries like a football or like a helmet around.
Yeah.
Like, listen, if you don't make the tackles where you're supposed to, we tackling at home.
Mm-hmm. And he was like, "You made my son cry. I'm taking your life. I'm taking that soul." You
See, like the tackling was bad, and then it started to get worse as like he like picked the kid up.
He
and, like,
started dragging him. Like
he
what?
doubled down. Like he was on some Cobra Kai, no mercy. Like he was like,
I'm gonna ask everyone here. Amina, would you ever tackle some kid for your son or daughter with a football helmet? Oh, Amina is ride or die. That's why Amina's been silent on this story. Amina would tackle somebody.
Okay, I mean, what'd you do to my kid? That's the question.
she goes, I'm not gonna.
Well, I mean, I get it. I would give another kid a concussion.
Lana, would
I
you?
might
No.
So you would burn yourself for your
I'm
boyfriend, but
surprised
you
by
wouldn't
that
tackle
answer,
a child.
Lana.
That's where I draw the line.
You
Look,
draw the line at that.
all right, I'm okay with harming myself, not somebody else.
Okay, we
need to dive deeper into that.
Would you tackle a kid for your horse? Because I know you love your horsey.
Oh, for my horse? Oh, maybe.
Wow.
I don't know.
Kid.
We're learning a lot about Lana in these
But-
past few minutes
Okay,
here.
horse
Yeah,
kid.
you love your horse more than you love fetusism.
No, okay, but I'm not sure because my horse could probably defend itself.
That's valid. That's valid.
You wouldn't care.
Horses got some girth. They got some.
Have you seen a horse kick?
Can we get the show?
Hey guys,
Been kicked in the head before it. It's not fun.
it's not pleasant.
Wait, you've been kicked in the head?
I haven't, but I know people who have.
Listen, guys, this program was electric. This program was a great time to be alive. This program will be back next week with this same cast and crew, except for Campbell. You get the week off, but we'll be thinking about you. Tomorrow is a super show, 3 hours from 7 to 10.
Yay!
Yay! So you could catch some of your favorite people on there. What a day, what a life, what a time. We'll see you next week. Bye.
We